Alright, guys, since many of y'all have been asking me for my complete workout routine that I'm following at the moment, here it is. So, without any further delay, let's jump right into it. So, first things first, I follow a classic push pull leg split. Well, to be precise, legs pull push split. And my first leg day, that is leg A, is different from my second leg day, that is leg B. So, basically, I have leg A, push A, then leg B, pull B, and push B. There's not a lot of difference between the two workouts. There's just one to two different exercise variations for compounds, but rest everything is the same. The rep ranges, the rest times, the progressive overload techniques, everything stays the same, just the different exercise variation. That's it. So on my first leg day, that is leg A, my first exercise of the day is the Smith machine squats. I do 4 sets on this and prioritize getting a complete range of motion in each and every rep. After finishing with the Smith machine squats, I move on to either hamstrings, that is the lying leg curls, or the seated calf presses, depending on the availability of the machine. For the lying leg curls, I do a total of 3 sets and focusing on pushing my hips into the seat as hard as possible on every single rep. For calf presses, I do it unilaterally because it is much more comfortable for me and I feel my calves much more that way. But if you want, you can do it with both feet together as well. So now we're done with one exercise for the quads, one exercise for the hams, and one exercise for the calves. And I usually finish my workout with one exercise, that is the isolation exercise for quads, and that is going to be Smith machine CC squats. This exercise, in my opinion, is the best quad isolation exercise. It stretches your quads like no other quad exercise can, which is really important to grow that rectus femoris muscle, which is the solid V shape on your quad, as well as it's pretty stable because you do it on a Smith machine and not with free dumbbell weights on your shoulders. So that was my leg A: Smith machine squats, lying leg curls, calf presses, unilateral, and CC squats. Moving on to my pull A. So for the first exercise for my pull day A, I do a classic lat pull down with a slightly narrower than shoulder width grip, and I try to stay as erect as possible during the entire movement. Why? Because I feel a better stretch in my lats this way, as well as this posture somewhat tends to align with the resistance path of my lats. So on my pull day A, I do 4 sets of this. The next exercise is going to be the chest supported T-bar row, which is the best exercise you can ever do for your upper back and traps. I focus on getting a complete stretch in each and every rep by letting my shoulders sink in forward, and I try to avoid ego lifting in this exercise all the time because trust me, when you get in the zone, you end up lifting a lot of weight. For this exercise, I do 3 sets on pull A. The next exercise on my pull day is going to be for triceps. Well, that's because on my pull day, when it's time to train my biceps, they're usually fatigued because I've done a lot of rowing and a lot of vertical pulls. But my triceps, they're fresh. So I like to train my triceps on my pull day and biceps on my push day. For my triceps, I do the classic overhead cable extensions with the bar while standing as close to the pulley as possible. Well, that's because this posture makes the resistance the hardest in the stretch part and the easiest in the contracted part, which is exactly what we want to maximize hypertrophy. For this exercise, I do 4 sets and then I move on to abs. For abs, I only do 2 exercises. That's the decline weighted crunch and the decline leg raises. In both these exercises, my main focus is to move my hips and I focus on bending my spine instead of just raising my legs. And that is the real key to target your abs to the fullest. So first, I do 2 sets of decline weighted crunch followed by 2 sets of decline leg raises. And that's it for abs. And the final exercise for my pull day A is going to be the cable pullovers. I do 3 sets of this and on every single rep, I lean forward to get that deep stretch in my lats and to put the maximum tension in the stretched position. And that is it for my pull day A. Moving on, it's going to be push A. So for my push day A, I start the day with incline dumbbell presses, my favorite exercise for the chest. On each and every rep of this exercise, I try to touch the dumbbells to the deepest part of my inner chest or my bicep to get that complete stretch in the upper pecs. I do a total of 4 sets of this exercise, then move on to the next exercise for the day, which is going to be the lateral raises on the cable machine unilaterally. In my opinion, unilateral cable shoulder raises is the best exercise you can do to get wider capped delts. I do a total of 3 sets for this exercise on push A, and on every single rep, I focus on getting as much stretch in the shoulders as possible by leaning towards the pulley. The next exercise for the day is going to be the chest fly machine. Again, the simplest isolation movement you can do for your chest. I do a total of 3 sets of this and then move on to the next exercise for my push day, That's going to be the decline bicep curls, also known as my favorite bicep curl variation. This exercise is basically just a more extreme version of the incline bench dumbbell curls. In this variation, your biceps are actually under a lot of load in their stretch state, which is exactly what we want. Unlike the incline bench curls where they're just hanging at the bottom. Trust me guys, if you're gonna do it for the first time, do not take a dumbbell more than 5 pounds because I can assure you that your biceps will be sore the next day. I do a total of 4 sets of this and then I call it a day. So that was my push A. Now it's time for leg B. My leg B is exactly the same as my leg A, but except for lying leg curls, I perform RDLs this time. It's time to train the hamstrings in their lengthened state since I've already finished training them in their contracted state on leg A. As usual, I perform 3 sets of this. Everything else remains the same. Next, it's time for pull B. On my pull B, the first exercise is going to be single arm lat pull downs. This is an amazing exercise because it gives such a deep stretch in your lat as well as it's really good for general week to week variation. On pull B, I perform 3 sets of this and my next exercise is going to be the cable rows. An amazing exercise to activate the entire back as well as the erector spinae, which we hardly end up training ever. On pull B, I perform 4 sets of these. So in total, I have performed 7 sets for my lats and 7 sets for my upper back throughout the week till now. 4 sets of the normal lat pull downs in pull A and 3 sets of the chest supported T-bar rows in pull A plus 3 sets of the single arm lat pull down in pull B and 4 sets of the cable rows in pull B. So these 2 exercises are the only changes in my pull B. Rest everything regarding triceps, abs and the isolation exercise for lats remains exactly the same as that of pull A. And now it's time for the final day of the week, that's push B. After training my upper chest heavily in the first push day, my push B starts with flat machine presses. 4 sets of this exercise is enough to target most of your chest since the sternocostal head, that's the middle part of your chest, is the biggest part of the chest anyways. Now moving on to the next exercise for my push B, it's going to be the lateral raises machine. This machine is honestly exactly the same as that of the cable lateral raises that I did in push A because the tension in the bottom stretched part is sideways, which is exactly how we want it to be. And also because it's sometimes fun to have more than one exercise variations to perform in a week. After this exercise, I move on to the isolation exercise for my push B, that is the incline bench dumbbell flies. In my push day B, since I've already targeted my sternocostal head, that's the middle head of the chest, now it's time to train the upper chest with an isolation. So basically, if you'll see, I've just inverted the two things from my push A and push B. In my push A, I train my upper chest with a compound and my middle chest with an isolation, but on my push B, I've trained my middle chest with a compound and my upper chest with an isolation. I do 4 sets of this exercise and then I like to finish off the day with my favorite bicep curl variation, that's the decline bench bicep curls, which I just explained earlier. So that was my complete workout routine, guys. This video took me 2 long days to record, edit and upload, so please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, share this with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe for more such informative gym content and I'll see you in the next one.